Hey everyone, it's Ivan, KidPatcher.com, out here for another review, and today, something a little bit different, talking food stuff. This right here, which is the Rec Pak. So, big picture, broad strokes, what is it? Well, it is basically, think of it as a meal on the go, or if you were ever in the military and had to endure MREs, think of it kind of akin to like the protein shake that they put in them, except this one doesn't suck. And speaking of that, veteran-owned company, probably found Inspiration somewhere in there. But yeah, like I said, these don't suck. So tell you a little bit about them. The purpose behind these is to basically give you sustained energy through a big push, some sort of effort, whatever it may be. Whether it's some sort of endurance race, backpacking out in the mountains, pretty much whatever it is. And there's definitely some benefits to this versus kind of your other alternative food sources. And with respect to this, in like calories and stuff, again, it's made for a big push. You don't want to just hang out and like down these things on the couch unless you're in some sort of bulking phase. Each one of these is 700 calories. And as far as the distribution of those calories, you're looking at 50% coming from carbohydrates, while 25% coming from fat, the other 25% from protein. And these are all the same with respect to both those percentages, as far as what's in here also is for grams, all of those things. Only difference being this one actually being coffee. Well, there's 3 flavors, one chocolate, one vanilla chai, this one coffee. The only difference, this actually has 150 milligrams of caffeine. Again, give you that boost. As far as kind of the breakdown of, fat, protein, all that stuff, go over it real quick. Fat, 18 grams, saturated fat, 7 grams, cholesterol, 5 milligrams, sodium, 570 milligrams, total carbs, 91 grams, dietary fiber, 6 grams, total sugars, 23 grams, included added sugars, 18 grams, and 43 grams of protein. On top of that, there's a huge like vitamin and mineral supplement in these too. Again, think longevity, exertion, stuff like that. And yeah, they're pretty much packed with all of it. I mentioned benefits. There are a number of them. One, packaging. So pretty small and also lightweight. The ingredients I want to say is 5.9 ounces. The whole pack itself, everything weighs 6.7 ounces. So really lightweight. And with that, no sharp things. So Peanut, come here. Peanut appreciates this. In that sometimes when I'm backpacking, I will bring these with me. And I'll throw them in the saddlebags. And there's like nothing sharp that's gonna stab him or beat him up when he's blasting through the trees and stuff like that. So again, they pack really easy and super light. And preparation. These are something, they're basically a meal replacement. They're not something that I wanna replace every meal with, in part because, I don't know, how many meals do you drink daily? Maybe one. I would not want to drink 3 meals a day. Just pleasure of eating, really, is what it comes down to. And there are definitely certain times in the backcountry where, you know what sounds amazing is like a hot meal. These are not that, but it's also one of the benefits in that you can have one of these on the go. And so we'll go with chocolate. The way these work is you basically open this cap, they're sealed. And once that breaks free, make sure you kind of open these up a little bit as far as squeeze them so that there's room for your water. And then anywhere from 12 to 16 ounces. If you have something like an Nalgene, it's graduated, which is kind of handy. Otherwise, basically just fill it to the top. One thing I will say, and it cuts both directions, is it is not a huge opening. It is obviously big enough, and part of it depends on like what kind of water bottle container you have. Nalgenes are pretty wide-mouthed, and yes, you can actually fill them without spilling. I've absolutely spilled them too, though. To the top. And yeah, that was about probably like 13 ounces, I guess. Then we just screw this lid back on. Make sure it's on, because then you can shake it vigorously. And yeah, just continue to shake it. And once you're done shaking it, of course, at any time, you can actually open this thing up and look, make sure everything is well mixed. And the other part of it too is given time. If you're starving, you can just pound this thing right away. Or if you have a little bit of time, especially if you're still hiking or something like that, you can shove it in a pocket and just let it soak basically for another 5 minutes or so. And I will say, personal preference, yeah, they pretty much all, they pretty much all taste better cold. I would not want to drink like a lukewarm chocolate milkshake basically. And so yeah, cold water, ideally better. But once you've shaken this up really well, or let it sit for a bit too, just kind of soak it in, you can crack this thing open and go ahead and drink it down. The other thing, which is really nice also, is the spouts on these. Well, not the friendliest thing as far as pouring the water into it. They're really handy in that you can basically walk, think hiking, or I guess you could probably ride a bike and drink one. Haven't done it. But you can basically walk, like if you're hiking and stuff like that, and basically take a swig of this as you're going. And you're not going to spill it down your face like trying to walk and drink out of an Nalgene bottle, which is also a bonus. And once you're done, no, I wasn't going to pound this thing on camera for you, but you can basically open that cap and just roll this thing up, get all the air out of it. And now you just have, so it unrolls on me. You now just have that to pack out, which is pretty convenient. Again, shove this thing in your pocket, or in my case, I usually put my trash in my dog's basically as saddlebags because I let them carry it for me. But yeah, right there. And real quick, I guess I didn't mention earlier, gave you a calorie breakdown, but as far as ingredients for all of these, you have whole oat flour, main ingredient, followed by maltodextrin, whey protein isolate, organic cane sugar, and then coconut oil blend. That being the majority of everything. And then of course you have flavoring, all your different vitamins, minerals, things along those lines. But brings me to, how have I used these? What has been my experience with them? These have actually been really handy in the backcountry on a number of different fronts. One, I've taken them on backpacking trips where they are in fact a meal. And again, it's one of those where time and opportunity. So for example, midday meal where you don't necessarily want, like you're still on the trail trying to get to your destination, not really the time and place where you want to break out a stove, boil water, do all those other things. Really easy to just go ahead and fill one of these up, shake it, and I mean, at that point you can basically, as soon as you fill this up, which I would not trust myself to fill it up while walking, but stop for a second, fill it up, you can start walking again. And after you've shaken this enough and maybe let it sit for a few minutes, you can start sipping it again while still moving, which really, really handy, being able to have something that you can essentially eat on the go in the backcountry and giving you like plenty of calories, again, 700. And also definitely filling. Like when you down one of these, you're not like, oh, I'm still hungry. You're definitely pretty full. And so not only have I used them, again, usually more of a lunch thing than anything in the backcountry while on the move largely, but because of how light they are and how well they just kind of pack, I usually keep them in backpacks to where hunting, for example. I was out hunting with a buddy and some friends, and yeah, I had them. Did we use them? I don't think we did, but it was one of those where having them in basically your little day pack, go out, go spot, things along those lines. Maybe you're not planning on being out to the point where you're going to eat a meal, but if you want, like you already have water, so how much does one of these weigh? Well, 6.7 ounces, I'm pretty sure. Doesn't take up a bunch of space or weight, easy to just have in the pack, and if you end up getting hungry, bam, got a meal right there. The other place these have been handy for me is honestly keep them in my car. Again, kind of think go bag to where they're always there. Just need to add water, can have them pretty much instantly, which is handy. 3 different flavors, as I mentioned before. You have the vanilla chai, chocolate, and coffee. Coffee probably being my favorite. They all honestly taste good unless you're like, I don't like vanilla chai. Then I would suggest not getting that one. And as far as ordering them, you can order like a mixed pack. As far as one of each, they come in either 3, 6, or 12 pack. 3 of them I think costs around $38. 12 pack is about $145. So higher you get in volume, the closer they get to about $10 a meal. Is that expensive? Yeah, I mean, pretty much any type of lightweight, backcountry, endurance, anything, honestly, is pretty expensive. These, I do say, like, they're probably not expensive for what they are when you actually use one. In that, again, think being on the move, needing a lot of calories, and being able to consume it to include on the move if you want to. Yeah, no, I mean, you're paying for the convenience of that, not to mention how light they are and how much they pack down, like, after you actually have them. So, and quick aside also, those prices, I want to say include shipping, which is cool. As far as the longevity of them, they're good for probably longer, but they state 18 months after they're basically produced, and then they put stickers on them. This one, July of 2024, so still have time on it. And I guess that's the expiration date, rather. 18 months back from that is when this one was made. But yeah, overall, again, they're not something I would take like 3 days worth of these to go on a 3-day backpacking trip, but there's something I definitely have and do take backpacking more when it's like, hey, I know we're going to be making this big push. I know I'm not going to want to stop and make a meal. Cool, easy. And they also fit really well in peanut saddlebags and don't beat them up, which is also handy. But yeah, if you're interested, there'll be a link down below. You can go check them out. And yeah, as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.